It's always something exciting to be on LinkedIn Live and to talk to a bigger audience, but you never see the audience. So that's what I love about like a real tangible conference where you talk to people. So welcome everybody. Welcome to this LinkedIn Live today with Jessica Normandin from Eaton. And you might listen to this live, then you can ask questions, you can type something in, and we can like loop those questions in. Or you might watch a recording or listen to it on a podcast or something. In that case, feel free to still reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions and get back to you through the comment sections afterwards anyway. So I'm very excited today to have Jessica with me. We tried to get Jessica already to the Lean Leader Summit this year because of some travel restrictions that was not possible. So we're working on getting you to speak at the Lean Leader Summit next year in Munich. And please, can you introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit more about what your role is at Eaton?
Sure. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Normandin. I lead the Lean and Agile Center of Excellence in Eaton IT. I'm based out of Michigan in the United States. I've been with Eaton and in IT for close to 15 years now. So I've had the pleasure of holding a variety of different roles in the IT function. I personally specialize in driving enterprise-wide optimization by partnering with cross-functional teams. So while I work in IT, love the opportunity to be super partnered with the business and how we can improve operations. My specific expertise lies in enabling cultural change, fostering continuous improvement, and aligning delivery with value. I'm all about high value items and getting those done first.
That's
I'm super
awesome.
passionate. Oh, just yeah, very much so. And I'm so passionate about embracing adaptive ways of working to achieve strategic goals. So just continuously figuring out how do we make not only my team better, but the teams around us better and scale solutions. So that's a little bit about me.
I like the value focus here, and I think it's really amazing and unique what you have built from that transformation aspect at Eaton. But can you maybe give us some insights into what was some of the key business drivers that led to this large scale cultural shift you helped bring along at Eaton?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. So, actually, I started as a waterfall project manager. So, I did waterfall project management many years ago. I got to see firsthand what's good about waterfall project management and what's not so good. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, waterfall is very lend towards managing within scope, within time, and within budget. And a lot of times, that approach of spending a year on a requirements document and then developing a solution doesn't work super well. So I think why Eaton decided to make the shift towards a more agile, lean way of working is because we need to be more responsive to our customer needs. We need to be able to respond faster to what our customers are demanding. So I really think that the shift towards agility and lean for Eaton was catalyzed by the need to deliver faster, get rid of waste in our processes, and improve customer satisfaction, get value into the hands of our customers quicker.
Excellent. Yeah, I like how you are coming from a waterfall perspective, so you know that there is also benefits on like a structured planning approach. But you, as you mentioned, kind of like the parts where it falls short is kind of like the quicker and the changing environment sometimes requires you to be quicker and more agile and get things out and the value delivered faster. So I love that kind of like development, but also how it still is connected. Um, Looking at one of the first steps that your teams took to move into that, what was kind of like something that you did, but maybe also like for the audience out there, what they can take to move into that direction?
Sure. Yeah. For me personally, as I mentioned, I was a waterfall project manager. I was given the opportunity to run a few projects using agility. And so the thought was, why don't you go get trained, become a certified Scrum Master, certified product owner, and then try to apply the practices on a few of your projects within Eaton IT, and let's see how it goes. So, this idea of start small, um, test, how does it work, apply feedback, and then determine, does this make sense for a broader scale within Eaton IT. And so it worked quite well, honestly. After I got certified and was able to apply it, it was a great use case for certain projects within our organization. And so that's when I transitioned into more of a coach role, and we started to bring in agile coaches from outside of our organization to influence change. So that's on the agile side. And then the other thing we did was we partnered with a, an external company called Next Level Partners that specializes in lean skills. And I became certified with them in value stream mapping, lean daily management, obey a room builds,
Hmm.
transactional process improvements. So lots of process improvement and lean metrics. And that helped us to focus on our red areas and target how do we make things better where we're struggling. So it felt like the blend of bringing coaches in to influence the agility side and then learning from the best at process improvement events and lean metrics and then bringing that into Eaton really started to move the needle for us.
Hmm. No, I think that's I'm amazed. I think that's a great balance as well to have kind of like generic agile that's kind of like a more broader focus, but then also like those lean metrics that you mentioned. In my experience, they help you to really kind of like narrow down and
Mhm.
focus on what the biggest problem is right now today, and not kind of like what in general we should kind of like all improve, or like a general we should become more agile or leaner. But like if we look at like the more metric approach, it kind of like really gives you that focus lens. What is kind of like a hurdle? Is there a hurdle that you can like share that like you had like a little aha moment in those where you, because sometimes I've seen in the past where organizations were using this and were like, we never looked at that over here, but now with the insights from the metrics, it was clear that the issue was there, and they were kind of like um, enlightened, so to say, from the new like area that they never looked at, and to find out that there was the issue or the biggest one, and removing that had the biggest impact. So, is there any insight like that that you can share as well?
Yeah, for me, I think the metrics help you to prioritize. Quite honestly, every team has a lot of problems, but when you can use data to make decisions and look at where is my biggest problem area, not 30 problem areas, but let's focus on one and let's fix that. That's what I love about the lean metric system. You might be looking at a lot of things and you might be going up in some areas, but the power is where are you going down? Where are you struggling? And where's your biggest problem area that we need to focus on right now to make better? And I talked a lot about value in my opening, but you think about if you target your biggest area for improvement, that's where you can add the most value. So for me, that is the power, the magic behind the lean metric system.
Awesome. Cool, thanks. um, I know a while back we also talked about kind of like leveraging technology, and I know you kind of like there's a bunch of agile tools out there that help you with it. But I think that, or you mentioned also more creative ways, or some non-standard ways, so to say. Is there like an example you can share when it comes to leveraging technology and going down an agile lean path?
Yeah, for sure. So we are every day talking about AI. I'm sure everyone is talking about AI within our organization, especially in the IT function. We're just looking at how can AI continue to make us better, faster, optimize our work, and partner with us effectively. So my team has been looking for ways to what I call what we do is optimizing, right? If you're working through agility, ideally you're doing work 2 times in half the amount of time. So doing work faster. If you're on the lean side, you're doing things better by aggressively pursuing waste elimination. So I think AI is just another wing to optimizing the way that we work. A few things that we've done with AI to make things better on top of the work that we do. Lean talks a lot about writing standard work. So being able to write, here's how you would operate in with Scrum, leveraging agility inside of our organization. We have written standard work, a playbook on how to do that within our organization. It is long. So what we did was we put an AI bot on top of our standard work, and now you can leverage the bot to ask questions about how to do something specifically, and it gives you the answer. So rather than having to read or sift through or search and maybe not get your results, how do I effectively prioritize leveraging agility? The bot will tell you not only here's how you do it, but specifically step-by-step instructions on how you do it within our organization. So that's one of the cool ways that we've used technology. I mean, I think standard work is so important. I think we'll see changes in that looking ahead into the future, but our team again recently put this bot on top of our standard work, so it's really easy to ask a question and get the answer on how to do things and how we should be operating within our organization. So
Hmm. Amazing.
it's
Yes,
one.
I see a lot of AI applied in similar fashions in organizations, and it's really great to see how it helps and um, similar to like the agile and lean, like also increases speed because people get like responses much quicker, or the help or the support. And I think it's also something where I've seen organization use it as kind of like an external coach, so to say, where you can like say, hey, this is kind of like something where I right now struggle. And then what kind of questions do I need to like answer you so that you can like give me more? And with some of the questions, it gets you already thinking, and you sometimes even figure out the problem without then the AI telling you, because you have those bot interaction and whatnot. But I'm curious what you think about, because I think a lot of the agile benefit comes also from a much stronger collaboration between teams, that sometimes, especially if you look back at kind of like your waterfall history, so to say, where sometimes you mentioned all like the requirements documents like written by one department, and then it gets like thrown over the fence to the IT department that then
Mhm.
tries to figure out what this document might mean, and you don't have that close collaboration necessarily. So what's your take on kind of like the collaboration part? How much do you think it's key? And can it be AI enhanced, or is it still something where people need to talk to people?
I think collaboration is absolutely key. That's honestly one of my favorite things about agility is how much it brings teams together, um, to talk, connect, be able to make progress every single day. To me, that's huge. Our team has also been exploring how AI can help us with some of our ceremonies. I think it will end up being a partner in your team.
Hmm.
So how we've been using it in our team, and this is just a pilot, but we put Copilot on all of our meetings, And then we ask it at the end of the day, what's our summary? What are our action items? What do we need to do? And although we are still taking our own notes as humans, it is very interesting to see how accurate Copilot is, where it goes wrong, where it can continue to generate other ideas we haven't thought of. So I feel like Copilot is going to end up being an integrated part of your team, an integrated collaborator. I'm talking Copilot, but AI. But you still will need the team collaboration and partnership. I mean, some of the best ideas come when you're sitting and working people in a room with people in a room, and you ask Copilot the question or AI, and it doesn't think of the idea. So I still think that there is value in the collaboration and connection that humans bring, but I do see AI as a strong partner and being able to help expedite things, give a new perspective, leverage data to say, here's what's been done historically, here's what you can use in the future. So I think it's a good opportunity to work together.
No, I agree. Great points, Jessica. Brilliant. Um, Switching here a little bit, because I know Eaton is a decent sized organization, a large, mature. When it comes to continuously improving, but also like retrospectives, for example, this can be, especially if you look at it at scale, sometimes be difficult, hard. There is organizational hurdles. It's a much bigger organization that you need to like get to know, to new practices, change management, like a lot of like, hey, my job was always to do X, Y, Z, and now you tell me to do it differently. Especially when it comes to like the improving and the retrospecting and looking at things, and no, we always have done this around here this way. So what was kind of like, or is it the same way at Eaton, where the like, because of the size, some struggles came in, and was there something that you think made it work better because you took a certain path or at it?
I think there's definitely in large organizations always opportunities, right? Always things that we do well, always things that we could do better. And in the retrospective space, my biggest piece of advice is to remember the value of retrospecting. I mean, the whole reason why we do it is to figure out what's going well, what's not going well, how do we do better? And sometimes that's leveraging data, sometimes that's leveraging team feedback. But if you're not asking yourself or dedicating time to having the discussion around what's going well or not going well in our metrics or in our team, how do you ever get better? So I think circling back to my key theme as I opened, you think about the value that what you're doing brings to the organization. And to me, the retrospect is extremely valuable because if you don't have the conversation, I don't think you're focused on continuously getting better.
Hmm.
Actually, I'll tie in the book The Energy Bus. If anyone has read it or is interested in reading it, I loved it. It's such a great read. And that book reminds us that every problem has a gift. I say the hardest things are the biggest lessons. That's where you learn the most. And the energy bus really reinforces that. It tells us that challenges can be seen as opportunities for growth and learning. And that's exactly what retrospectives do. And so if you think about that as the value and you remind people why they're doing it, why they're making the change, why they need to continue doing it, I think that's really what brings them along for the ride.
Hmm. I like the positiveness. I think that's also like from the energy bus, kind of like one of the drivers to like the positive attitude, and I can clearly see that in your eyes and in your approach also here. So I love that positiveness. Just to checking here if there is any questions from the audience, but also if there is anything that you would This was such a great conversation so far that I totally forgot to show here and ask people to engage and ask questions. But um, because we might not get to it, or you might not get to it to think about or type it in on time. You can also comment after this if you watch it as a recording later. So do not hesitate to ask Jessica some questions, and then we will check the LinkedIn here for sure and also answer. So you see, you've totally blown me away with your insights here. So love it. But you mentioned kind of like the shift and what you did there, and but you also did like a personal shift, like with the formal project waterfall approach. What was kind of like something that you personally learned or also had to maybe unlearn, or like an insight you have from like your personal learning and growing that you did?
Good question. I would say a few key things. So, first and foremost, the biggest change I have seen is this shift from command and control to empowerment and trust. So, really, agility and lean teaches you that everyone is an equal player in the team. Everyone should have ideas on how to make your project or process better. And it becomes this team ownership rather than a project manager is assigning you a task and you need to get it done by X date. And I love that shift to we're all part of one team. We all trust each other. We're all going to make this better together. So that to me was a huge shift from when I think about how we used to work to how we work now, away from command and control. One person's giving you a task to the team is generating tasks on how we can make the best delivery for our customers. That's number one. Number two is being more adaptable, right? I think historically we would set a plan. As I said, we'd write this long requirements document, we'd set a plan, and then we'd say we have to execute to that plan. But now we know every day, if you think about yourself as a customer, right? Like our needs and desires change. So to think that you're going to write a document and deliver to that in maybe years away without having any sort of customer change in what they need is pretty unrealistic. So I love the flexibility and adaptability that agility brings to organizations, quite honestly. And this whole concept that we want to deliver the highest value items for our customers, not just we set this plan and we have to do it because we set the plan, right? If you think about yourself, if you're decorating your house, for example, and you think you're going to want to decorate your house in the next year and you think this is your plan, and then as you get into it, you're like, no, I don't want that bed in my bedroom. I want to switch it out. Thinking about not being able to change that for no good reason, um, to me is a little bit I'll use the word wild. So I love that agility brings adaptability into the picture because as a customer myself, I know that my needs change and I want to be responded to with respect and get what I want, right? And so same with the people that we're dealing with in our working world. So love that we are more adaptable. The other thing I'll highlight is the shift towards metrics that matter, right? Let's make sure we're measuring the right things and that we're doing something about the highest problem area. I already talked about that a lot, but I think that that's been a huge shift for our organization with the introduction of lean metrics, looking at things that matter to the team and then really driving change on the highest value item. Um, I think a lot of times we think metrics are a one size fits all model, but if you start to look at the way that teams operate and what matters to teams, it might be slightly different. So love the concept and theory behind metrics that matter, and that's really what lean brings to organizations. And then the last thing I'll highlight is just incremental change, right? Not needing to do everything at once, but agility brings into um, organizations being able to change, in small pieces. And that's what, if you think about a daily scrum or meeting every day, you should be able to get something done every day that delivers value. So I love, rather than saying in 2 years, customer, you'll get X, it's like every day, let me show you the value that we can bring to you, customer. And let's check with you and see how things are going and see if we need to change. So those are some of my highlights. I could probably go on forever, but I'll stop there.
Huh. Excellent. We're actually also coming at pretty much the end of this. I want to keep the insights actionable, insightful, but also not too long. And this one is definitely packed with insights interview here. So very much appreciate, Jessica, you sharing all this. If we would boil it down to just one advice you can give to here our audience that might want to go on a similar journey or struggle with something in that, going to Agile Lean, what would that one piece of advice be?
I'd say pair the vision with action. You to make a change, you do need to slow down. So you'll need to stop, learn, slow down before you can speed up. But once you learn how to implement agility and lean, it will help you to eliminate waste, move faster, deliver a quality and customer centric solution. But it will take time. Just like anything else you learn, you'll need to slow down before you can speed up and see the value, but that value will come. So that's my one piece, even
Wow.
though, as you said, I could probably list 10 things, but I'll
Ah, I love it. No, and you mentioned already a lot of things in here, so really appreciate that. There actually is. I just see there is a question coming in, and let's just take that. But then I think we have to come to a close here as well. So Zhao is saying, I like your approach. I'm curious to learn how you evaluate and prioritize different problems, whether big or small.
great question. It's quite honestly still a challenge. My team does work in one central backlog, and we do, for bigger bucket items of work, ask what's the value statement. And we use a prioritization metric or mechanism that will tell us what, for all of our big bucket work items, what is our highest value item, what should we go after first, second, third, and then we bump it against our team velocity to see how we can deliver it. So that's how we prioritize our big bucket work. The smaller work, we use a similar mechanism, right? We want to be looking at value, and sometimes not all value is equal. But as your product owner, that's where you need to make hard decisions on what needs to be done, 1, 2, 3. So that's what we use. We really use value and a velocity calculation to basically say, what can we do? What's going to give us the highest value? Whether it be customer satisfaction, whether it be productivity savings, whether it be anything. But the product owner's role is to make that hard decision, and sometimes you have to say no. You can't do everything. There's finite capacity, so that's a hard skill. But thanks for the question. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I think it was spot on. So appreciate Jessica. But if you again have any further questions, feel free to ask those questions. As I mentioned before, we will also monitor them and type an answer in here. And if you want to more about like Lean Agile, we do have the Lean Leader Summit coming up next year, June 10th, 11th in Munich, Germany. Hopefully, Jessica, you can make it there as well. And if you are interested in some more insights like this, some other fireside chats, then go to the lean42.academy. We do have recordings of this, but like, and you already see it and have seen it somewhere. But recordings like this from the past are there as well. So it's a good source for some on-demand learning and personal growth. So that was kind of like just like some tail end information for everybody. I appreciate very much, Jessica, that you're taking your morning time here with us, and appreciate the insights and the what I always call like growing the capacity that we all have for doing agile, doing lean, doing transformations, because I think there's a lot of change and a lot of like improvements that we can do. And if more people are aware of it, know it, learn it, apply it, I like your actionable insights as well here, Jessica. It really helps all of us because all the products we engage with are becoming better, and so forth. So really, really love it. Really thank you, Jessica. And
Thank
everybody have a wonderful day, either tail end or beginning of your day, and hope to speak soon.
Thanks, Karsten.